What up, everyone, and welcome back to Hangover On Downs. I am your co-host, Logan, of course, as always, joined by my amazing co-host, Tyler. Tyler, say what's up. Tell people how you're feeling on this fine Wednesday.
Amazing day, good day at work. I got back from my business trip, as y'all may have seen. We uploaded a video yesterday from last week. We got a little bit ahead. But today's going to be interesting.
And real quick, I want to say this part 2 of the draft series or part 4, I guess, but part 2 of the defensive draft series will be out Friday. So you guys will see that Friday, and you'll be seeing this on Thursday. So, with that being said, let's hop into it.
So today we got some topics for y'all. We've got Colorado, Deion Sanders, Shador Sanders.
Travis fucking Hunter.
Yeah, Travis Hunter. We're going to talk about the Panthers schedule a little bit. It's very interesting. West Virginia just sucks. I'm sure that's probably the first thing we'll start off with, as we watched a massacre happen.
I was so drunk.
Yeah, I was too. Caleb Williams is generational. Now, we'll save that for later. And we're going to make our week 1 picks of the NFL season. So as you can see, we usually do the NFL content, but with college football back, we will talk about it a little bit.
We both kind of made it like a personal goal. Like, we want to get into college football heavy this year. It's something I've never really gotten into hard besides draft picks. So.
Now, I do want to start this off with a fact about Justin Fields. So, this is off ML Football off Twitter. He said, in 2022, Chicago Bears quarterback Justin Fields had a couple of insane games against these playoff teams. There were 7 games of playoff teams. I'm not going to read all of them. But in those 7 games, oh yeah, baby, he had 11 passing touchdowns, 3 rushing, so 14 total touchdowns, 1 interception, and 216 yards per game with a 63% completion percentage. Now, this is interesting, right? As we know, Justin Fields ended the year very hot, even with his receiving core that he had. Shout out Ignatius St. Brown, Dante Pettis.
Dallas Jones!
And, yeah, him. But, I'm not going to go on a rant about this, but, if you read that, as a Bears fan, that makes you excited. And, it kills me when people are like, yo, he's a running back, he can't throw. You throw with Ignatius St. Brown as your number 1 receiver, and let me know how it goes. But, 14 total touchdowns, 1 interception versus playoff teams is ridiculous for a second-year quarterback, now going into his 3rd year. That's all I got to say for that topic. You want to hop into West Virginia?
Let's hop into West Virginia. So, West Virginia, couple stats I want to bring up there. Now, 22-26 in the Neil Brown era. They have never been ranked, and they fucking suck against Big 12 teams.
Garrett cannot throw a football.
So, we're going into this is year 5 of Neil Brown, am I right?
4 or 5.
I think 5, because, yeah, this would be 5. Yeah. Going into year 5 of Neil Brown, when the fuck does it change? The play calling is still ass, and people are going to argue they don't have the NIL money. Yes, they fucking do! Get the fuck out of here. See, we live in West Virginia. I'm not going to say where, but we live in West Virginia. So West Virginia does a thing. You may not even know this, but they have a beer that they sell. I have some in my fridge. I can literally show you. It's but basically 15% of sales of that go to the NIL money, as well as Rem Baker is now trying to create, which I think is fucking cool. He's trying to turn an area of Milam Huskar into a bar, like for season ticket holders. I think that's fucking sick. They're going to bring in the NIL money. Please shut up about NIL money. Anyway,
for anyone that didn't watch the game, just go search up the Nico 4th down call.
Horrible.
That's all you need to know about the game.
With that being said, though, the final score of this game was 38-15. Most West Virginia fans knew we were going to lose, and if we lose to Duquesne Saturday, we're going to Morgantown. But anyway, and then, of course, they got the week after that at Pitt, which they'll probably lose, but we're going to talk about this week in specific. So, number 7, Penn State took care of business against West Virginia, 38-15. It was pretty close in the first half, and they scored a late touchdown. One thing that I want to highlight, C.J. Donaldson seemingly picked up right where he left off. But he just really wasn't carrying the ball a lot in the second half because they got down. But C.J. Donaldson went 18 for 81 and a touchdown, so 4.5 carry. And, with what he did last year, I think before he got hurt, he was putting up over 6 a carry. Might have to fact check me on that, but
I'm pretty sure you're right.
He was putting up over 6.5 a carry, and West Virginia fans are probably going to overreact and be like, he's not the same. Shut the fuck up. He's not going to keep up 6.5 yards per carry. But C.J. Donaldson, all things considered, seemingly picked up right where he left off. Comfortable run the ball. Garrett Green. Now, Garrett Green was listed as Sports Illustrated's worst Power 5 starting quarterback.
And it showed.
And I see why. I'm a Garrett Green believer, but but even last year, right, when JT was starting, we all knew that Garrett Green could not throw the ball. That was no secret. And I mean, he didn't look bad rushing. I mean, 15 for 71 and a touchdown. You know, it's pretty good. But
there's one play in particular, I believe it was a fourth down call
with Nico.
Receiver ran a 5 and in though. It's not that one.
No.
He was wide open. They're about 5 yards behind him. It was really bad.
Another thing I want to talk about for West Virginia was their coverage. It was horrible. My question is, so here's my question. When you're in the red zone, actually further than that, when you're inside the 10-yard line, why are they running a zone defense? Why? Why are we calling a zone defense? And it became predictable because the problem is with West Virginia's offense is they're so fucking one-dimensional. I mean, Penn State stacked the box every time because you knew they weren't going to throw the ball downfield.
Exactly.
You knew they weren't going to throw the ball downfield. Garrett Green is simply not capable of it.
No, he cannot throw it.
And I just, I don't know, man. Neil Brown, he makes me question a lot of things. And Pat McAfee summed it up really well yesterday on his show. If you haven't listened to that, I suggest you go do it. But he's just, Neil Brown, I don't know, man. I really don't. He's going into year 5, and fucking Shane Lyons gave him a premature-ass contract extension.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely unbelievable. And it seems like Ren Baker is just not putting up with the shit. He literally told Bob Huggins, like, no, you don't have a fucking choice. Goodbye. He's like, you either retire or we fire you. And he's making all these... I like Ren Baker. I'm a Ren Baker fan. He's making all these moves to bring in NIL money, whatever. But at this current rate, especially with the Big 12 adding teams that they are, they added Cincinnati, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Cincinnati made college football playoff a couple years ago. They're not going to compete for a while because even after Neil Brown's gone, it's going to be more fucking rebuilding, trying to get in more recruits.
That's exactly what it's going to be.
And I don't know, man. I think at this rate, so. They'll lose. They lost to Penn State. They should beat Duquesne. Will they? Who knows? And then they'll probably lose to Pitt.
Yeah.
And I think that, man, I think that if they lose to Pitt, they could really put Neil Brown on the hot seat.
Well, it feels like he's already on the hot seat, but it's just...
I thought he was on the hot seat last year, but I guess not.
He needs to go. I feel like the Virginia's going to take that next step in the other direction. First step's fire Neil Brown. Get someone fresh in there. Get a fresh face. Because here's the bottom line.
The Neil Brown experiment didn't work.
It didn't. And I will be the first one to admit that I loved the hire whenever it happened.
I did too. I was a big fan of it.
Yeah.
I was a really big fan of it. And I was even a fan of when Neil Brown brought Graham Harrell with him from Troy. But Graham Harrell left because Neil Brown would not let him call the fucking plays. It's a disaster.
It's a mess in Morgantown.
I mean, as a West Virginia fan, it really is a disaster. Maybe we'll make a Morgantown trip here soon, and we can maybe include a couple clips of that, into a podcast in the future.
Yeah.
But just all around disaster in this West Virginia game. Also, West Virginia did not have one sack the entire fucking. No, they did have one. My bad. They had one sack. My fucking bad.
It was a clean pocket the whole game for Penn State. I mean, clean.
Drew Aller threw for fucking 330 yards.
Yeah. It's... As a West Virginia fan, it sucks.
They also had... Listen to this. So, Penn State had 3 guys get carries, right? Nick Singleton, which is the running back one, he went 13 carries for 70 yards. Five and a half a carry. And then Katrin Allen, I don't know if I'm saying that right. Katrin Allen went 10 carries for 51 yards, which is 5.1 carry. And then Bo Prabula, not sure who that is either, but he went 3 carries for 18 yards.
I'm 6 yards per carry.
Good
job with the defense. Let's give a round of applause.
I think Bo Prabula might actually be a backup quarterback. Yeah, he is. He's their backup. It's just a mess.
I mean, good lord.
So what we're gonna do, real quick, I really don't know why I want to do this. I'm gonna pull up West Virginia's schedule, okay? While we've got this pulled up. So let's try to figure out. So obviously start 0-1 Penn State. I'm gonna say they beat Duquesne.
I'm gonna say it too, as much as
They go 1-1. They definitely lose to Pitt.
Definitely.
So that's 1-2. West Virginia, Texas Tech, probably a loss.
Yep.
West Virginia, TCU. Even with TCU not being what they were last year, I'm still not convinced West Virginia's going to beat them.
No, neither.
West Virginia and Houston, that will be interesting. That will be that's at Houston, but that'll be the Dana Holgorsen revenge game. If that was in Morgantown, I would say me and you definitely need to go out that weekend.
Yeah.
I'm considering going up. This is not podcast related, but I'm considering going up to Morgantown the weekend of the Pitt game. Obviously, can't go to the Pitt game, but might go up there. But anyway, and then let's see. So TCU probably a fucking loss. Houston should be a win. I don't think Oklahoma State is what they have been the last couple years.
They're better than West Virginia.
But they're better than West Virginia. UCF should be a win.
Should be.
BYU should be a win. They should kick those Mormons' ass. Can I say that? Well, I said it. If we get canceled, so be it. West Virginia and Oklahoma, that's a loss. Cincinnati and West Virginia should be a win, but will it be? No. And then I don't know if Baylor's what they were last year either.
But they're better than West Virginia.
Anything else you want to throw in on the West Virginia side?
No, it's just if I was in that front office there at West Virginia, I am all for firing the Brown. And look, it's not worked.
If I lived in Morgantown, I would be a drunk.
What was it? 22 and 25 under Neil Brown.
I think so. It's 22 and 26 now.
Yeah, 26 now. Listen, that hasn't worked.
Never been ranked.
Time to move on.
Never been ranked. And whatever against ranked opponents.
We've had talent the last couple of years. I mean, I'm not saying we're like fucking Alabama or Clemson, but
I feel really bad for JT Daniels because I think he got fucked over hard.
I do too. If you watch that first game, he played his heart out.
And that interception that ended up costing them the game while they were driving was not his fault. That Bryce Ford Wheaton dropped it.
He dropped it, but I'm not even going to blame on the loss. Neil Brown should have went for it at 4th and inches above midfield.
Yeah.
While you're a touchdown, you could seal the game.
With C.J. Donaldson, who was having a fucking phenomenal game.
If you get that first down, even if it's a 3-and-out, they maybe have one.
I mean, I know of against Penn State just this year. Right off the top of my head, I can think of 2 fourth and shorts that C.J. Donaldson picked up.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fucking mess. But
you couldn't even sneak on that. I mean, it would have got it.
Especially with Garrett Green.
Exactly.
I mean, well, this year. Last year. Well, no, still last year, because Garrett Green came in and ran last year, so what the fuck am I talking about? Garrett Green got snaps last year.
He did.
So, I mean, Jesus Christ. I want to see Nico. I want to see Nico. Ooh, look at my pit stains.
Damn.
I want to see Nico. I want to talk. Forget that, though. I want to talk about something positive. I want to talk about Colorado. I fucking love Dion.
Dion is a hell of a coach. Hell of a coach.
So I'll give you the stats real quick, and then you can say what you want. So 45-42, Colorado won. Shadur Sanders,
38 for 7, 510 yards, 4 touchdowns.
Indeed. Travis Hunter had 11 for 119. Did not have a receiving touchdown, but who cares? Jimmy Horn is a guy I want to talk about. 11 receptions for 117 yards. I do not know shit about Jimmy Horn.
I don't either, but the dude was constantly open. Constantly.
Did he?
A decent TCU team. It's not like they were playing one of these nobodies. TCU still is an okay team. Even if Duggan and Quentin Johnston.
So Jimmy Horn started at I thought maybe he came from Jackson State with Dion, but he didn't. So he started at USF, played 2 years at USF, and then transferred to Colorado this year.
Hell, I mean...
Yeah, he's 5'10", 170, he's speedy. God, he could run some fucking routes.
He was constantly open.
Bro, his out routes were nasty.
It was insane.
Just agile as fuck.
He ran one route in the end zone where it was like a corner route.
The back of the end zone play? I know, yes. Oh my God, it was awesome. And then Travis Hunter on defense had a pick.
Versatile weapon.
As some would say.
Yeah.
I wonder if the actual versatile weapon will get used by his team this year. Probably not.
No. For anyone that don't know, we're talking about Kyle Pitts.
They also did this with without really having a run game.
Yeah, it was an air raid attack. I mean,
Savion Wilkerson went 13 carries for 45 yards, 3.5 a carry, and 1 touchdown. I mean,
if Shedeur Sanders is playing the way he is, throw the damn ball.
the defense. So Colorado does move to being ranked. They jumped up to 22.
Great.
First fucking game under Deion Sanders.
First game.
Deion Sanders has potential to change the landscape of college football in general.
He does.
It's just it's awesome to watch. It really is. I mean, because Colorado, I'm pretty sure in the 90s they were really good. I might be wrong about that, but I think they were.
I'm not sure. I don't know college football history
Yeah,
like that.
I don't either, but I mean, obviously.
And for anyone that says that the way Colorado recruited players, shut up. I mean, shut up.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I just dropped a shot glass. Did you hear it? I wasn't even getting alcohol. I was just trying to get water.
If Deion Sanders wasn't the coach, you would never have a problem with the way Colorado recruited. You never would. But it's just where Deion's the coach.
And a lot of people got pressed over the speech that he gave. Like,
bullshit.
He was. I remember whenever he first got to Colorado, and he just told. I mean, because Colorado, did they go 0-10 last year? Or did they win 1 game?
I think they won 1 game.
So whenever he came to Colorado, he did a speech where he basically just got all the players together and he was like talking about the transfer portal, and he was like, "I'm gonna make y'all motherfuckers work." He said, "If you don't like it, you can go cry in the transfer portal and go somewhere."
Exactly. And a team that's coming off 1 win, that's the way it needs to be.
And
it needs to change. It needs to
It
change.
needs an entire culture change. An entire culture change.
Entire.
And people were pressed about him saying that his son was starting no matter what. Well, he shut them the fuck up.
He did.
Now, do I expect Shedeur Sanders to continue this pace all year? No. But if he does,
first round pick.
There you say it. But I don't disagree. I don't disagree. Then now the defense for Colorado was but TCU's was shitty too. But TCU's was shitty last year.
It was an offensive battle. No doubt.
And then on TCU side, we will talk about them a little bit. Chandler Morris was starting quarterback last year before Max Duggan came in. Was not impressive. I mean, some of the throws that he made, there was one in particular. You probably remember it. It was the running back, and he was running a wheel route, and he threw the ball directly to the safety, right to him. But taking a look at, Chandler Morris was not good. I want to highlight Amani Bailey a little bit. He had 14 carries for 164 yards.
Great game.
I'm pretty sure he's their backup running back, too. I'm pretty sure Trey Sanders is their starter. Amani Bailey, I know he was on the team last year. I also don't know if I'm saying that right.
Sanders will start because he was in the first drive.
Okay. Trent Battle. Wasn't he on Riverside? Trent Battle.
Trey Battle is not.
Oh, okay. Sorry, completely unrelated to what we're talking about. Anyway, I thought that was the first season run back from Riverside. But anyway, Amani Bailey was on the team last year. I guess he was backup then, and he's the backup now. But Trey Sanders did have 3 touchdowns, but he averaged 3.1 a carry. And Chandler Morris did have a rushing touchdown, but I think it's safe to say that Max Duggan was definitely better than Chandler Morris.
Oh, definitely.
Because if Chandler Morris did that against a Colorado defense that really isn't that good, imagine what he's going to do. Well, I was going to say imagine what he's going to do when he gets into Big 12 play, but Big 12 defenses fucking suck, so.
Yeah. West Virginia really sticking out in that one.
Yeah, he might throw for now. West Virginia will probably make him look like Joe Burrow in 2019 at LSU.
We know that one. I mean, say that.
Is there anything else that you want to add to that?
No, just Deion Sanders, man.
Now, you've been the one that's been giving me the Caleb Williams stats, so let me hear. Let's hop into Caleb Williams. Let me hear what you got to say.
I don't have the yardage off the top of my head. Maybe if that's something you want to search up, but I do know in 2 games he's had 9 touchdowns to 0 interceptions. And there was one play in particular. You know exactly which one I'm talking about. Running to the sideline,
perfectly lobbed it over the.
Lobs it in stride, almost going out of bounds. The dude is generational. Mark it down. He's generational.
You have it right here of us saying it on the Hangover On Downs podcast. Caleb Williams, in my opinion, maybe he doesn't agree, but in my opinion, Caleb Williams is the next Patrick Mahomes.
I'm not going to disagree. The dude's insane.
So just for context, he went for 278 against San Jose State, and then against Nevada, he went for 319.
And, people like to trash his size. He's 6'1", 200-ish. It's not extremely small, and understand you have guys like Josh.
It's not Bryce Young or Kyler Murray small.
Oh, and they were first overall.
But
And Kyler's been a good quarterback at times.
yeah, I feel like Kyler was really good the year that D-Hop played before he got
He
hurt.
was for the first 6 weeks. I want to say 2 years ago now.
He was the MVP frontrunner.
Yeah, he was.
It was the year that they beat Tennessee on my birthday.
And I know all the jokes like, "Oh, Kyler Murray likes Call of Duty."
Tighten up, motherfuckers! Sorry.
Wow. But I know everyone complains about Kyler Murray liking Call of Duty and shit, but the dude can play football.
You know Kyler Murray, though, in that 6 week he's suspended, gonna be going hard on the sticks. He gonna be going hard. But I can see a realistic world where Cardinals suck this year, draft Marvin Harrison, and then they completely retool and they're good again next year. I really would.
Fucking drafting Caleb Williams and then trading Kyler Murray.
I would almost be tempted to do that, but see, I think if they land number 1, I would trade back because Caleb Williams, I don't give a fuck who it is. Unless it's somehow like the Chiefs or something. Caleb Williams is going number 1 overall.
There is reports out.
Marvin Harrison Jr. will not steal that from him. Drake May will not steal that from him. No way. Joe Alt will not steal that from him. Nobody's going to steal that from him.
But I've been seeing shit, though, that whoever gets number 1, if they were to trade down, it might take 5 first. And I hope it's the Bears.
If Arizona gets number 1, trade back, draft Marvin Harrison, and then you're literally, because a team, well, think of a team that would trade up with. If Arizona theoretically gets number 1.
I'm going to throw a team to you. Seattle.
I don't see it.
I don't really see it.
I think it all depends on if Geno does what he, Because I've said numerous times I could really see Geno kind of ended up like a Ryan Tannehill situation.
Yeah. Maybe Detroit if Goff doesn't pay out this year. Do they extend him?
Yeah, but no, they didn't. But Dan Campbell loves Goff.
I don't understand.
I think either way, even when Goff's contract is up, I think he'll be there as a backup just because Dan Campbell loves him.
But they have no picks to trade, so none whatsoever.
0. I look for them to offload. I think after this year, Matt Stafford definitely gets cut, and depending on how he plays, but I think Stafford's past the prime.
Even if he's average,
I think Stafford really gave it his all to win that Super Bowl, and he got it done. So hey. But Stafford is, 33 at this point, 34? I mean, he's been in the league since 2009. He played with fucking Megatron. I mean, he's been in the league for a while. But I feel like people forget that. Like, Stafford really is kind of old at this point. And especially for the way he plays, like, he's not very mobile. So he's going to fucking launch the ball. And when you get to a certain age... Huh?
He runs like a log.
Yeah.
And run, it's like something's up his ass.
Well, it's kind of like Big Ben a couple years ago. Because, like... Big Ben obviously was not mobile, and just because of all the injuries and stuff he's had through years, his arm talent died. Hey, we've seen it with Drew Brees.
I was about to say Drew Brees.
And call me crazy, but we kind of seen it. And call me crazy, but we kind of seen it in Brady's last year too. I mean, there's one thing that's undefeated in sports, and it's Father Time. Exactly. And, I love Stafford. Stafford's always been a guy that I like. I like him. I
always fought for him.
Yeah. Well, but he did his thing. He got the fuck out of Detroit and he won a Super Bowl. Even if the Rams team fucking sucks now, he got a Super Bowl, and that's the ultimate goal.
I'm gonna go back to Caleb Williams for a second. So I have a team in mind. So let's say Minnesota, right, doesn't win a lot of games. Kirk Cousins, you're about to move on. Do you move up for Caleb Williams? You've got Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, T.J. Hawkins, Christian Darrisaw at left tackle. Not a good defense, but still. I wouldn't want it to happen because they're in my division, but that is an interesting take. It really is.
What about Green Bay? Jordan Love doesn't pan out this year, but Watson played pretty good. You've still got a solid offensive line and Aaron Jones, and that defense is still good.
I do want to give credit to Romeo Doubs as well. He's underrated.
Yeah, I like Romeo Doubs a lot. They lost Lazard. Lazard followed Aaron Rodgers, but it's by the way, USC dropped 66 on Nevada.
Wow.
Oregon dropped 81 on somebody. Did you see that?
Random fact of the day, Colin Kaepernick went to Nevada.
I didn't know that. For some reason, I thought he went to like a California school. I don't know why.
No, it was Nevada.
I did not know that. So there's your fun fact today. Hangover On Downs fun fact. Sponsored by Great Value.
Colin Kaepernick if we support him or not. So don't even try to start.
Yeah, please don't try to start no shit. Like that has nothing to do with what Colin Kaepernick does or did. I'll be honest with you, neither one of us give a fuck. So
we don't.
Please don't try to drag that in. But sponsored by Great Value Drinking Water.
Sponsored Gatorade.
Great Value. What's in that? Water.
Water.
Wow. Great Value Drinking Water for broke college kids like me. All right. Anyway.
Me, I'm not a college kid.
Or broke. But anyway. That's beyond the point. But so one thing that I wanted to bring up, unless there's something else you want to add in as far as college football goes.
No, just Caleb Williams is fucking insane.
So I'm gonna put this graphic on the screen. So I got this graphic to the whatever right of me. So quarterbacks this season, the Panthers are projected to face in order. We got Week 1, Desmond Ridder, Derek Carr, Geno, Kirk Cousins, Goff, Tua turned ball over, Stroud, Richardson, Justin Fields, Dak Prescott, Tannehill, or should I say Tanner Wills? My bad.
Or it might be Malik Willis or Will Levis by that point. Who knows?
I hope it is, low-key. Baker Mayfield, Derek Carr, Desmond Ridder again, Jordan Love, Trevor Lawrence, and Baker Mayfield again. What is your initial thoughts on this?
A lot of average to above average, and a lot of rookies.
I think your best guys here are Geno, Tua if he's healthy, Fields, Dak,
and Trevor.
Trevor, yeah. Trevor is a dark horse MVP candidate for me this year.
Yeah, me too. I think he'll be top 5 this year.
Geno, we already said him. Derek Carr could bounce back and be pretty good, but even then, he's not all pro.
Hold on, well, let's go in order. So Desmond Ridder, unproven.
Second year, right?
Control to be good, but he's in a really fun offense. 2, Derek Carr, veteran, above average and times average. Geno Smith, I had a great season last year, but
if he repeats this year, could be Pro Bowler.
Could be. But I'm gonna say above average quarterback.
West Virginia.
Kirk Cousins, average to above average. Jared Goff, average to above average. Tua, if he doesn't have a concussion, he's
above average. I think above average.
Yeah, but I think he's really average. But with the weapons he has,
it makes him look above average. So yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Okay.
CJ Stroud's a rookie. Probably will have struggles. Anthony Richardson, I really think will have rookie struggles. Justin Fields, I think it's good to say above average now. Above average.
That's fair.
Dak above average. Ryan Tannehill, average.
Yeah, but by week 10, the Cowboys will have already started their second half claps. So
yeah. So I'm gonna say Tannehill average, maybe above average. Just
above average is pushing it, but sure.
Baker sucks.
Carr again, we already said him.
Ridder again. Jordan Love, unproven. Trevor Lawrence is good.
Potential.
Good.
I'm gonna say a potential MVP candidate.
Yeah. And Baker shit. So that's interesting. And there was another team I mentioned to you that had a schedule similar to this, like not really playing.
If I had to guess, it's another NFC South team.
I guarantee it.
Probably the Falcons.
I think it was
probably the Falcons. I mean, just looking at this, I mean, based off of this, I mean, oh, by the way, shout out JPA Football. That's where this came from. I really like JPA Football stuff. Follow me on Twitter at Logan Lucio. Shameless plug. Anyway, but for the 5 people who watch this. But anyway, shout out Jesse Belcher. Oh, but I mean, how many games? So with Bryce Young, they signed Thielen. Yeah, second year Icky, Aquanu. They still got Taylor Moton. Brian Burns. Yes, all right defense. Jeremy Chen's still there.
Derek Brown.
So J.C. Horn was amazing last year. So how many wins for this Panther squad?
Now we got to take into consideration the division they play in.
Mm-hmm.
I want to say 6 to 8. But I think it's a generous. Especially if they win 8, I think it's going to be very generous because of the schedule they have.
I think
now, I hope they win 0 games because we have their first round pick, but I think it's a young, decent looking team. I really do.
I think we're probably going to see Bryce Young on the field a lot because, I mean, I feel like a lot of these quarterbacks, it's going to be a lot of 3 and outs.
Oh, it's going to be Andy Dalton, baby. Red Rifle.
The Caden's clone.
Exactly. Caden's clone.
We have a friend named Caden. Maybe we'll try to get him on the podcast at some point, but we have a friend named Caden. He's a ginger.
If everybody's wondering.
We call him a leprechaun. But I could see 6 to 8 wins realistically for this Panthers squad.
That's my prediction.
I think
they win 0, but
I think Bryce Young, for what it's worth, just based on the other QB situations, I think Bryce Young probably has the best rookie year. I,
I
str-
was gonna say yeah.
I struggle to see a world where Anthony Richardson has a good rookie year. I struggle to see a world. I think.
Shit, no.
What?
I was just saying now that's not us shitting on Anthony Richardson, so
Yes, it
nobody gets
is.
hurt.
Me anyway. Maybe not you. It is for me.
Listen, he's a Titans fan. I'm going to say this about Anthony Richardson. I think he's going to have a terrible first year, but his ceiling is so high that if Shane Steichen can unlock that, man, he's going to be a cracked up Camden.
Yeah, I mean I don't disagree, but
Could be.
I think
Now,
I think Stroud, all things considered, might actually have a solid rookie year. I really do.
I don't know.
See, I love C.J. Stroud. I'm really big on Stroud.
I like Stroud as well. Who's actually my QB?
I hate the fact that he's in my division, but
Stroud for me, if you look at the team he's playing on, it's not good.
I want to see a phenomenal year 2, but technically will be rookie year for John Mechie.
Yeah.
Technically, he didn't play at all last year, right?
No, he had cancer.
Yeah, he had the cancer.
What he beat?
Thank God he's healthy. I want to see it'll technically be his rookie year, but year 2, I want to see a phenomenal year from John Mechie. He was a guy I was so big on coming out of the draft, and then you find out he's got cancer. It's just not a situation you want to see. I mean, especially from a football player, or from anyone for that matter, but, when you're a fan of football, it's not something you want to see.
Another person I'm really big on they drafted. It was this hash Tank
Dell, yes. Did you see what Tank Dell said? He pulled like the Draymond Green from a couple years ago, where he said that he knows all of the guys that were drafted before him, and I think that's sick. I really do.
Love it. I love Tank Dell.
I think he'll emerge as a pretty solid receiver in Houston. I really do.
He has wide receiver potential. I'm going to say it. I think he has wide receiver potential.
I agree. I think they have 2 guys on that team that could be future wide receiver ones.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe Mechie more of a future nickel guy, or slot, not nickel. This isn't defense. Slot guy, but still, I think that the potential's there.
I also will shout out Nico Collins. I'm not as sold on him as the other 2, but I do like Nico.
I like me some Nico Collins, man.
I do too.
And then they also, I'm pretty sure they saw Brevin Jordan.
They do. Want to say they signed the tight end.
They did, but I don't know who it was. Dalton Schultz. Yeah, Dalton Schultz. I avoided drafting Dalton Schultz in fantasy just because he's in Houston.
Yeah.
But I like Brevin Jordan. I was really big on Brevin Jordan coming out of the draft. He was in the same class as Pitts, wasn't
he? Yeah.
I was really big on him. Miami?
Yeah, Miami.
Miami, does that sound right? Yeah. He was on the team with Greg Rousseau. But Greg Rousseau is a guy that is really starting to come to his own.
Yes, he is.
The biggest knock about Greg Rousseau, at least coming into the draft, was just the lack of film. And as a pass rusher, he wasn't really polished.
If you look at that year before, he was supposed to be.
Well, he was a guy that at one point was projected top 5, top 10, and then top 3, and then it was just one of those things. There have been a couple guys over the past few years that's happened to. It's just right before the draft, he's just the stock, just bleh. Yeah. It happened to Kyle Hamilton last year.
He got shit on.
Kyle Hamilton got absolutely shit on, and I never
liked him too.
But I never understood why. Because I remember screenshotting that and sending it to you, and I was like, where did all this Kyle Hamilton hate come from?
I will say I was never sold on Kyle Hamilton. I'm not saying I didn't like him. I'll compare him to the other safety in that class, Jaquan Brisker. Jaquan Brisker is more of he can play free, play strong. He's more versatile. Kyle Hamilton's strictly center field. Strictly.
Kyle Hamilton can almost play linebacker. If he could put on a couple more pounds, I really think he could play linebacker. Because he's already tall.
And I
don't know, though.
Because I did watch film on him. So
I never watched all that much film on Kyle Hamilton.
I did. He's great over the top. Have him line up in the box, and he sucks. I mean, that's really what it was.
Well, honestly, for a guy like him, you would almost expect it to be the complete opposite. Just for how he's built and stuff.
Now, and I'm not going to say this because I'm a Bears fan. Jaquan Brisker was my second safety, but I did have Kyle Hamilton first. Watching Jaquan's film, he made a case to be the number 1 safety, which he did his rookie year, but can Hamilton overcome that?
I think so.
I think he could.
I think Hamilton will be a fine player. I really do.
I think Jaquan's elite.
Jaquan is already top 10 safety in this league, and I think at the end of this year, he's definitely going to solidify himself as a top 5 guy.
Yeah.
Especially in strong safety category. Now, if we're talking overall safety, you can debate that, but
Well, like top 15, top 20.
yeah.
Top over 20.
But as far as strong safety goes,
He's top 5.
he's top 5. And if he's not already, he will definitely solidify it after this year.
And I said this whenever we drafted Jaquan Brisker. I texted Logan, it's said in our Snapchat, that Jaquan Brisker will be a top 10 overall safety by his second season.
And he really had a chance to do that at the end of the season. And
his film was outstanding.
I also we've mentioned this before, but he makes Eddie Jackson look really good too.
Well, here's the thing with Eddie. So if you look at past years, he was dare I say all pro? I think he was.
He was. Yeah, you're right.
Green Amos. Amos is a true strong safety, which I don't know why New York's playing him a free. I really don't.
I don't know if that's true or if that was just ESPN being stupid.
I hope it was, because that don't make sense.
Because I think we both said, we noticed that in the podcast, and we were both like, that makes 0 sense.
Yeah, 0 sense. But if you look after Amos signed with Green Bay, it was Ha Clinton Dix for 1 year, which is a free safety, playing strong. Tashawn Gibson for 2 years, who is a free safety but was playing strong. Eddie Jackson needs that type of player beside him that can make the open field tackles.
Jaquan Brisker just compliments Eddie Jackson so well.
So well, and it was the same situation with Adrian Amos. They complemented each other so well. And I'm not going to sit here and bash Ha or Deshaun because they're decent players. Well, they're older now, but they were free safeties. They just were, and every Bears fan I believe knows this now. That Eddie Jackson just needs that true strong safety to play beside of somebody who can make the open field tackles, play in the box.
And I could be wrong, but he did bounce back really nicely this past season with Jaquan Brisker next to him, didn't he?
Yeah, he was amazing last season. Yeah, exactly. He was kind of underrated last season. No one really talked about him.
So, lastly, we're going to hop into some Week 1 picks. Now, the setup's a little wonky, but below me, as you can see, that's my screen. And then over at Tyler, below him, that is his screen. So, you're going to see each of our picks individually. So, the way that we're going to do this is we're going to start with the AFC, then we're just going to rotate back and forth. I guess I'll get it started off with the AFC. I'm taking the Jaguars over the Colts Week 1.
I am also taking the Jaguars over the Colts. Like I mentioned, I don't think Anthony Richardson has a great rookie year. Actually, I think it'll be terrible. And the Colts really just are not a good team, and the Jaguars won a playoff game last year.
In amazing fashion, by the way.
Yeah.
Bengals and Browns. This is pretty simple for me, just learning, because we just learned today that Burrow will be ready for Week 1. And I don't really... I'm really questioning if Deshaun Watson is the same guy.
It's one of those for me that I have to see it first. I have to.
So I'm taking Bengals over Browns in Week 1.
I am also taking the Bengals over the Browns.
What you got for Baltimore and Houston?
Give me Baltimore. I mean, this is probably one of the easiest ones.
Raiders and Broncos Week 1 is kind of interesting to me. I'm taking the Raiders. I think the Broncos are going to struggle a little bit to start.
Okay, I'm going with the Broncos.
I say the Raiders because I think the Broncos might struggle a little bit to start, but I think that after 4 or 5 weeks, they'll really, Sean Payton will really. Chargers and Dolphins. This is a good Week 1 matchup.
This is a very good one.
I'll go first. Give me Jay Herbo and the Chargers. Why?
Okay.
I don't know. But
give me the Dolphins.
I really don't know. See, a lot of it's kind of hard to go in depth about these.
It is.
Especially something like that, because that could literally go either way.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the same with the next game, Bills and Jets. So this is another one where I could see go either way.
I'm taking the Jets.
I'm taking the Bills.
I'm really big on the Jets this year.
I think they'll be good. I mean, you had them, 13, 14 wins?
13 wins, I think.
I mean, I had them like 10 or 11.
I had them winning that division.
Yeah, I had the Dolphins in that division, but everyone had a tiebreaker.
Well, I think, I'm pretty sure the way I had set up was, literally, Jets had, 4 or 13 wins, but then, the Bills and Dolphins both had, 11. So, I mean, it was,
All my teams had 11 in the division besides...
Patriots.
Yeah.
Mine did, too. So, next, do you want to go into the AFC versus NFC matchups, or do you want to hop into the NFC matchups?
We'll start off with Lions and Chiefs.
Lions and Chiefs. Pretty simple for me. Taking the Chiefs.
Yeah. Chiefs are dominant.
Although I do think the Lions, as I've said before, I do think if they win that division this year, Chiefs. Niners and Steelers, another easy one for me.
Me as well. 49ers probably have the best defense in the league.
You go first on Titans and Saints, because you know what I'm picking.
So, I'll go into depth a little bit. I think both of these teams, like if you look like overall wins, they're kind of in that same boat. Um, I feel like the Titans do struggle under Tannehill this year, and I know it's not really Tannehill, but it's like, hey, this is his last year in Tennessee. I really believe that. I'm going with the Saints. I think Derek Carr plays great that first week.
You know who I'm picking.
Yeah,
Eagles and Patriots. This is easy for me too.
me as well.
I think the Eagles. I've said this before and I'll reiterate it. I really don't see a world where the Eagles miss a beat and have a Super Bowl hangover. I know they didn't win, but I just don't see a world where they have a Super Bowl hangover. I truly think Jalen Hurts plays just as good as last year, if not better.
Yeah,
And I think that.
1 or 2 seed, I'll be shocked.
What'd you say?
If they ain't a 1 or 2 seed in the NFC, I'll be shocked.
I see a world where they repeat as the 1 seed. I really do. And honestly, the only team that I think may even compete with them for the 1 seed, and get 13 wins,
49ers.
49ers, yeah. Because in their division, the Cowboys are not going to do it. Seahawks will not do it. Nobody in the NFC North is going to do it. And nobody in the NFC South is going to do it.
Yeah.
NFC North and NFC South are both teams where I could see division winning, having only like 9 wins. And then moving on to the NFC, Cardinals and Redskins is actually kind of interesting, but with no Kyler Murray, I'm taking. I called on Redskins. I just realized that. I did that earlier in a rebuild too. Cardinals and Commanders. I'm taking the Commanders. I'm a Sam Howell believer.
I'm going to take the Commanders as well. I think Sam Howell has an amazing week 1.
Panthers and Falcons. Kind of an interesting one, actually.
I'm going to go with the Falcons. I think Baker has some really big struggles that first week.
I'm going to go with Panthers.
Okay.
I just that Falcons defense is fucking horrible, and I think that Bryce Young may actually have a pretty solid week 1. Be a good start to an NFL career. Buccaneers and Vikings. This is kind of easy for me.
This is easy for me. Baker Mayfield as the Buccaneers quarterback is just not the answer.
Neither is Kyle Trask. I feel bad for fucking I don't want to say I feel bad for Buccaneers fans because they won the Super Bowl and they got to enjoy Tom Brady, but they went from Tom Brady to it's not even their roster now is bad.
No, it's not.
But they go from Tom Brady to Baker Mayfield.
Yeah. So next, I'm gonna let you go first.
Packers and Bears. Oh man. Now I've been a little bit bigger on the Packers this year than you have.
Well, I'm also a Bears fan.
Yeah, so I really see a world where the Packers develop a really nice run first play action team and get a nice defense. But with that being said, I'm taking Bears.
I am also taking the Bears. They have fucking dominated us for years, but that stops week 1. It stops. We take the North. Fuck Green Bay. Fuck Jordan Love. Fuck all of them. We're taking back the North, and we're going to take over this rivalry.
The Lions might have something to say about that.
No, they're Detroit. They'll fuck up.
Dan Campbell. Rams and Seahawks. Today it actually got confirmed that Cooper Kupp is out week 1. Taking the Seahawks.
I'm taking the Seahawks.
Honestly, even if Cooper Kupp was healthy week 1, I really don't think that would change my pick.
Yeah.
Cowboys and Giants. Giants!
Now, this is not me saying Cowboys are better, but I think they will split. I'm going to Dallas, and I think they'll have a midseason collapse.
I'm taking the Giants at home, but then whenever they play them in Dallas, I'm taking Dallas. But that'll be later in the season.
Split this year, whether it's week 1 or whatever week they play it.
I'm for some reason really big on the Giants this year. Rightfully so, but I'm really big on Darren Waller this year as well. So there is our picks for week 1. As you can see, there they are right there on the screen. Tyler, scroll down a little bit. Just kind of slowly scroll. There you go. As you can see, that is our week 1 picks.
Now, I think we mentioned this earlier in a past podcast, but we are going to do this every week, and we're going to keep record of who we picked and whoever actually wins. And at the end of the season, we're going to see who actually won. So if I pick more teams that won, then I'd win. Or
Let's decide right now. What's the loser going? Let's go ahead and decide that. Because I think we said we would decide it when the season came. So, season's here. Let's decide. Oh, by the way, we kind of fucking sucked at doing the pie face thing. Here's how our weekend went. So, I went down to his house Saturday. Went and ate at this Flames barbecue restaurant. And then came back, got obliterated. Watched West Virginia lose. And then Sunday, I was so hungover that I'll be honest, I did not want to do shit. You can ask Tyler. I was so fucking hungover. And we went and got some Chinese food, and we ended up watching a documentary about Kurt Cobain.
Yeah, we kind of chilled that Sunday.
We didn't really do shit that Sunday. But me and Tyler, for you guys, if you don't know, we may have mentioned this, we live close to each other. We live within like an hour and a half of each other. So it's really easy for me and Tyler to hang out on the weekends. And I look for me and him to be hanging out a decent amount, this year. So we'll definitely try to get some IRL stuff. Maybe try to get a live show going. That would be fucking sick.
I'm thinking for whoever loses, I think
it's got to be something embarrassing, I think.
It does. I don't know. I really don't. I feel like maybe next podcast we can let y'all know what we'll do. Maybe we can talk to a couple people.
If this gets enough viewers and you're here, drop suggestions in the comments.
Drop suggestions, please.
It's got to be something embarrassing. Like, I don't know what, but...
I mean, it could be us singing karaoke. I mean, it could be something like that.
What about wearing our most hated player's jersey? Because I can get you an Aaron Rodgers jersey. I live in a house with a Packers fan.
Fuck you. I can get you a Colts jersey.
It would be Jonathan Taylor.
Well, that's what we'll do. That's what we'll do.
So, loser has to wear their opposing... And you can't just sit around the house. We'll be together when we do this. You can't just sit around the house and wear it. We're going to go out in public. We're going to go eat. We're going to go to the store. I mean, just whatever.
Yeah, and we have to record a podcast with it on.
Oh, no. All right. I can live with that. So, at the end of the season, unless, if you guys still want to drop suggestions, go for it. Because that's not final. I mean, obviously, we still got fucking 18 weeks of the season, so...
Yeah, we might find a better idea, but I mean...
That's not final, but right now, the way we'll do it is loser has to wear their opposing... their most hated team's jersey for an entire day, go out in public, and record a podcast like that.
Yeah.
Well, with that being said, is there anything else you want to throw in?
I do not. I'm excited for the season to start. I'll say that.
We got football tomorrow night, baby.
Tomorrow, Lions, Chiefs.
Let's do it. But with that being said, thank you guys for watching. We really appreciate it. Remember to leave a like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, do all that fun shit. And we'll see you guys next week, I guess. Peace out.